stacks, hitting bookies from the back with no Vaseline. I need green and upsea quantities for a fiend, save the dreams for a king. This is H-Town, home of the lean. Astros is the team and we rock it. We rock Texans for life, you can't stop it. Together like brothers and Benz and Jackson.
What's going on, sports fans? I'm back again, LJ from H-Town, coming to you with some NFL prop bets that we can make some money on. I've been in the lab. I finally got a day off. I was able to sit back and try to find some money. So my people that follow me on YouTube, on Twitter, we can cash, man. So shout out to the chat. You know, I'm going to let the people come in, but we're going to talk some NFL props today. I'm looking at this Colts and Vikings game, and Vikings is pretty much getting embarrassed right now. 33-0. They not even scored 1 point in this game. And what's so telling about this game is the fact that the Colts, first of all, they only averaged 4 points in the first half on the road coming into this game. And they have 33 points in the first half on the road. So that just goes to show that the Vikings, they're probably not a bet-on team. I didn't put my money on them today. I've never been a fan of trying to back Kirk Cousins in any situation, especially a prime time game. Now, this is the only game on right now. So could this be considered a prime day game to where the lights are all on him? He has to perform and he comes up short. But we still have a second half to go. Now, if the Vikings come back and somehow win this game, hey, they may deserve to be NFC Championship Super Bowl contenders. But hey, I really don't see it happening. The Colts came in here with a great game plan is to attack the line of scrimmage, make Kirk Cousins beat you. And I see that he can't right now. But hey, I'll put out a prop right before the game. Chase McLaughlin, the field goal kicker for the Colts, over 1.5 field goals. He did catch that, I think, in the second quarter. So we're good there. So already making money today, one for O already. So that's a good start. Now, let's get into this schedule. The next game today, I do believe, will be Baltimore and the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns are 9-4 to the under, 5-2 ATS on the road. Baltimore. 5-2 ATS on the road, 9-4 to the under, 2-0 against the spread as a dog. So that's very interesting. 3-0 in the AFC North in their division, and they're 6-3 in the conference. Cleveland is 2-2 in the NFC North, and they have a losing record in their conference. They're only 3-7. But as we do all know, Deshaun Watson had made his return coming off a suspension. He played against the Texans the first game he played, and I was at that game, and it looked a little shaky. It looks like he was just trying to get the jitters out. A lot of noise, a lot of what's going on with these legal issues and things like that. So I just think it was more of a feel game to try to get his feet wet, getting back into the flow of things. But last week, he played, and I think they lost. I don't know. I'm not sure. Let me check that right quick while I'm on here. Because we did take his rush prop last week, and I do believe he cashed that. So, yeah, they played the Bengals. They lost 23-10. Deshaun Watson was 26 of 42, 276. He had a touchdown and interception. But he had 6 carries, 33 rushing yards. And we took the rushing prop. I think it was 26.5, roughly around there. And he cashed it. So guess what? We're back on it again this week. Deshaun Watson, rushing yards, over 28.5, minus 124. Because he's going to be able to scramble out the pocket. He runs for first downs. If you don't see anybody open on the field, he's going to try to make a play because that's what Deshaun Watson does. We saw him down here firsthand, the years that he was here. Very dynamic quarterback. So I do believe he will probably keep cashing this rushing prop probably for the rest of the season. So I'm pretty sure it's a bet on. If anybody want to just hop on a trend and just ride it, hey, let's do that. So Deshaun Watson over hold on, let me get my banners because I made this. So let me make sure I got this for the people so they could see it. Yes, Deshaun Watson, rushing yards, over 28.5, minus 124. Now, I'm going to take a shot on the pass attempts as well. Because Baltimore, since Raekwon Smith has came to that team, you can't run. You cannot run on this team. I'm gonna emphasize that again. You cannot run on this team. And it's evident. Defense only allows 72 rushing yards on the road. So I see a lot of them game planning to stop Nick Chubb. And Deshaun Watson is going to have a lot of pass attempts to try to throw the ball down the field, little screens, things like that. So we're going to jump on the pass attempts as well. Over 29.5, minus 114, because he's averaged 32 pass attempts the 2 games that he's came back. So I believe those two are easy cash. Deshaun Watson, rushing yards over 28.5, pass attempts over 29.5. And I have Baltimore plus the 3, just to throw that out there as a side. But because, I think they're still contenders in the AFC. We got to see if Lamar Jackson is going to be healthy enough to play. But as of right now, I trust Baltimore to keep it close. And, let's just say Cleveland win by a field goal. I can see that happening. I'm also going to I'm going to tweet it out before the game. Justin Tucker, over 1.5 field goals made. He's pretty much money. So I see Cleveland maybe stopping Baltimore a couple of series because, especially if they have the backup quarterback back in there. I think he's hurt too. So they probably be on a third string. That's why Lamar Jackson is really trying to come back and play. So, yeah, we're going to jump on that Justin Tucker over 1.5 field goals, minus 110 for the Ravens. Next game we got later today, Miami going to Buffalo. I haven't checked the weather, so I don't know the situation with that. But as far as Miami, they're 2-5 ATS. They're 2-1 in the AFC East, and they're 6-3 in their conference. They've averaged 12 points in the first half on the road. Defense allows 31 points on the road. And Buffalo is a high-power scoring team, especially at home, which they averaged 20 points in the first half. So I expect Buffalo to jump on Miami quick in this game. Buffalo is 10-3 to the under. They're 2-2 in their AFC East, and they're 7-2 in their conference. So they have a way better schedule head-to-head in their conference. Well, not way better. I guess 6-3, 7-2. It's not way better. It's just one win more. What am I talking about? I'm just rambling right now. But yeah, Buffalo, I'm sorry. 5-0 straight up in the last 5 versus Miami as well at home. So that's the reason why I'm going to take Buffalo today. May just take the first half, and just, get in and get out. Because a lot of times you can't trust these games, these teams. They kind of digress in the fourth quarter. They'll have a lead going into the fourth quarter, and they'll blow the whole game. So, especially, like I said, we don't know the situation with the weather. Things like that, inclement things like that can come into a factor as well. So, and also, I was thinking about taking Josh Allen's rush prop over 48.5. But I just going to lay off. He is the rush game pretty much for them. And he could easily come up short on that one, that he has to get 49, 50 yards, and he may not have to do that today. He may take it easy, feel Miami out, and like I said, the weather may play a big part in this game, but even so, if he cashes, then yeah, it's all good. I've cashed it a couple of times this year, but I just want to, lay low on my bets. A lot of times when you take a lot of bets, you chase and you lose money. So I've learned that dealing with sports betting, just stick to the things that you cap, disciplined enough to understand the advantage and take it. So we'll lay out there. But I do have Buffalo first half. Let's go to the next game. My team, Houston Texans, down here Energy Stadium versus the number one team in the AFC, in my opinion, the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, 10-3 record, 2-1 versus the AFC South, 6-3 in their conference. Versus the Houston Texans, who are 1-11-1, 0-3 versus the AFC West, and 1-6-1 versus the conference. So we already know Houston, terrible team. Shout out to the chat. I see y'all in here. J Money in the building. I see you, my guy. Bill's revenge spot. First half should cash. I agree. I agree with you, my guy. You know, you say I'll ride with you on that. Appreciate you. Who else in the building? Rich not famous. You know, how the Colts doing the Vikings like this? Hey, I don't know, bro. Like I just said, the Colts were averaging 4 points in the first half on the road coming into this game. And they have 33. So, hey, I can't tell you. I don't know. You know, it's surprising to me. But, hey, like I said, I didn't put no money on Minnesota. So, I'm not even concerned about it. It's just funny watching it, though, to be honest with you. Occupancy. What's going on, sir? I see you, my guy, my hockey guy. You know, we're going to have to tap in because I've been waiting to cap hockey until the Christmas break. You know, I want a great sample size of, you know, the tendencies of teams. So I'm going to get with you, though. We're going to start capping this hockey together for sure. Mad Stoney in the building. What's up, my guy? You everywhere. Appreciate you coming in, tapping in with me because, you know, we try to get money. And you already know we trying to get money. Markel, what's going on, my guy? Diggs, anytime touchdown and Bulls -7. Okay, you on the Bulls -7. I ain't mad at you on that one. You know, I bet on the Bulls the other day, I think, and I lost. So not trying to get with them, you know, anytime. J Money in the building. All right, so let's get back to what we're talking about here, my guys. We're trying to get some money, you know, and like I said, I had a day off today. So I was going to come to the people, you know, and try to get some money today. And this is what we do. So still coming in the building, you know, my guys, you know, you know what we do. You know what it is. We try to get money. So let's get to it, man. We're going to get to this money, you know, and make sure everybody get paid today. So let's get to it, man. Let's get back. Kansas City and Houston, like I was saying. We already know that Houston gives up the most rushing yards in the NFL, 165 on the year. And they give up 175 on the road, which is ridiculous to me. I mean, golly, just gashing that defense. And they allow 25 points at home. So I won't be mad at anybody taking a Kansas City team total over. But my bet on this one is definitely going to be the running back for the Chiefs, Isaiah Pacheco, over 71.5 rushing yards, -118, because he has averaged 78.5 rushing yards his last 5 games. And we, like I just mentioned, the Houston give up rushing yards. So I think this is a safe bet for us to take the running back because Kansas City is going to run down on the field on these Texans. And they probably scored maybe their first 3 possessions, you know, maybe more. But I can see the Chiefs putting up, because they average 18 points in the first half on the road. So I could see 17 points easily, quick, fast with the Kansas City Chiefs, considering how powered Patrick Mahomes is with that offense. And I don't see our defense giving up any resistance. We only averaged 6 points in the first half at home anyway. And the last games, the last 3 home games, we've only averaged 14 points on the whole game. So, hey, I see Kansas City coming here handling business, you know, and once again, I'm going to take Isaiah Pacheco rushing over 71.5 -118. And not to mention, the Chiefs are 9 out of the last 11 games to the over on the road. So if Houston can get 10 points, maybe a field goal and a touchdown, Kansas City probably going to get 35. So, hey, it may go over. I'm not going to take it. Just going to stick to one bet in the game. And we're going to take Isaiah Pacheco rushing for over 71 and a half, minus 118. Let's get back to the chat, man. Pacheco rushing yards. Yes, sir. Let's get this money, Rich. Let's get this money. What's up, Dave? I see you in the building. You know what I'm doing. I'm trying to get money. I'm trying to get the people paid. It's a big weekend, so it's time to cash. Finally got a day off, so I did some research, and we're gonna try to get this money. So let's get it. All right, man. Let's get back to it. Now, let's talk about this game right here. Philly and Chicago. Now, everybody knows, if you know me, I've been on both of these quarterbacks, rush prop and anytime touchdown, probably the majority of the season. And they're going head to head this Sunday. We have the Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Hurts, going up against the Chicago Bears and Justin Fields. So we already know where I'm going, if y'all know me. Jalen Hurts, over 47 and a half rushing yards, minus 114. Let me put it up for y'all so y'all can see it, so we can get it right. Jalen Hurts, rushing prop, over 41 and a half, 7.5, minus 114. He's averaging 72 rushing yards his last 5 games. And we all know that he definitely likes to get out of the pocket, scramble, get for first downs. He doesn't put the ball in harm's way. And that's what I can respect about Jalen Hurts. And he is in consideration for MVP. The Eagles have the best record in the conference. But let's wait and see when they play Dallas again. They do play Chicago. I don't want them to have a look ahead. Don't take Chicago lightly, even though they're only 3-10. And they have 4 losses in a row, ATS. Can't take them lightly. This is NFL. Any given Sunday, any team could slip up. For instance, right now, we're watching the Colts 33-0 over the Vikings, and the Vikings supposed to be a playoff team leading their division. So, who knows? Anything can happen. So, we don't want the Eagles to take the Bears lightly, but I will be on Jalen Hurts, over 47 and a half rush yards, minus 114. Now, I'm also going to double up on his passing touchdowns as well, because he's had 2+ passing touchdowns, 7 out of his last 8 games. And the touchdown prop is over 1.5, minus 130. I don't mind paying that, because my thing is 7 out of the last 8 games. I can't ignore that. 2+ touchdown passes. So let's stay on the trend. Let's ride it, because it's the end of the season coming up. So like I said, when teams are doing things consistently, we know that that's who they are. It's the NFL, man. You're not just going to change overnight. You're not going to digress, at all of a sudden. You're not going to increase all of a sudden. You're going to stay at the steady tendency that you do now. So let's ride Jalen Hurts, over 1.5 passing touchdowns, minus 130. And he also has a rushing touchdown. Now, that's 3 props on one person. I don't want to recommend that, because I do that a lot, and I've learned that I've lost money doing that, trying to put too much money on one person. So we're going to break it down to where the rushing touchdown, he's hit 4 out of the last 5 games. And the 2+ passing touchdowns, 7 out of the last 8 games. The rushing yards, he's averaged 72 rushing yards his last 5 games. Now, you can pick whatever one you feel comfortable with, or you can take all 3. It's up to you. But I'm just going to make official the rushing yards, over 47 and a half, minus 114, because I do believe that he's going to get that, because he's averaging 72 in his last 5 games. So that's consistent enough for me to put my money on you. Now, let's go to the other side. My guy, Justin Fields, over 70 and a half rush yards, minus 112, because he has averaged, where is it at? Jalen Hurts has averaged 101 rushing yards his last 7 games. Justin Fields, I'm sorry, I said Jalen Hurts. Justin Fields, averaging 101 rushing yards his last 7 games. So I can't ignore that at all. And he's hit his rushing touchdown 6 straight games. So it's up to you. You can take the rushing yards, you can take the anytime touchdown, or you can take both. And to be honest with you, I'm going to make this official. I'm going to take both because I've been cashing it every single game he's played. So why get off now? This is what we do. We stick to the things that's getting us money, things that's working for us. So let's just be consistent and do it. So, like I said, for this, and also for a side, I'm definitely going to take Philly. I'm going to take the over 48 and a half because Philadelphia is they've had 72 points in the first half in their last 3 games, 10 touchdowns total. So I'm going to take the first half, whatever it is. I haven't seen it yet, but they're averaging 17 points in the first half on the road. So it's going to be at least that. I'm going to take the first half. Philadelphia, they're 5-0 ATS their last 5 versus Chicago. They're 3-0 versus the NFC North, 7-1 in their conference. So going to take Philly to Sunday tomorrow. Chicago's 0-3 versus the NFC East, 1-8 in their conference, only averaging 9 points first half at home. So that's a number's good enough for me. We're going to ride Philly. We're going to ride Jalen Hurts, and we're going to ride Justin Fields. So those are my plays in that game. Let's get back to the chat. See what the chat's talking about. Matt Stoney went through full practice Thursday, so he's green. Oh, Justin Fields? Is that what you're talking about? Justin Fields got removed from the injury report. Hey, I like that. So that means that we can put our money on him this week. You know, that's what that's telling me right now. Unless you're the Vikings, laugh at me as I regress like a motherfucker today. Didn't they, though? They can't even run the ball. Like, they're not how many total yards do they have right now? Let me look that up right now. Live. Total yards for the Minnesota Vikings. Oh my God. They're just getting really embarrassed right now. Total yards for the Minnesota Vikings. 143 total yards. 47 yards rushing. 2 turnovers. Wow. Oh, okay. Finally got a big play. Well, all right. Good job, Vikings. Finally got a big play. Hey, who would have thought? Man, Stoney, but every state needs an anomaly game. Yeah, that is true. That is true, man, Stoney. I feel you. All right, let's get back to the schedule, man, because we're trying to get paid. You know, I'm trying to give some winners out there for my people. You know, I've been gone, maybe a week or so, maybe 2 weeks. I don't know, but, don't think I'm not neglecting y'all, though. So just trying to get some time to do it. Been working, this holiday season. My job got me working 12 hours a day. But, we gonna make it happen, though, because that's what we do. We try to find money. We trying to cash, and that's what we do it. All right, let's move on to this Atlanta and New Orleans game. Don't really have an official play in this one. I'm probably looking at New Orleans to win the game. They're 5-1 their last 6 versus Atlanta. They're averaging 19 points in the last 3 home games. Atlanta's only averaging 16 points in their last 3 road games. Atlanta's defense allows 271 passing yards on the road. So that means that the quarterback for New Orleans, Andy Dalton, he should have a nice day. But I'm not in a rush to put my money on Andy Dalton. I don't think I've bet on him ever, to be honest with you. I have. I bet against him to lose Thursday night games because he has this ridiculous record in losses of Thursday night games. So, yeah, I have done that. But I never bet on him to win anything. I've just never done that. So, hey, you can choose what you want to do. Like I said, I'm just throwing out the information for you. New Orleans, you're averaging 11 points in the first half at home. Atlanta's only averaging 8 first half on the road. Both these teams, Atlanta's 1-6 versus the ATS the last 7. You also can look at the field goal kicker for Atlanta. The Saints defense allows over 2.5 field goals made at home. So you could look there. Who knows? I may go to it. But Atlanta only allows 154 their last 3 games passing yards. That's what I got down. So they have cut those down. So hey, Andy Dalton may not have a good day. Who knows? But I don't have any interest in this game. I don't have a play. Nothing stands out between these two teams. So we can move on from there. Let's get to this game. Detroit and the Jets. And we all see how Detroit has been playing, been putting up some numbers. Oh man, I think I deleted the banner of who I was going to take on this one. But Detroit has been putting up some numbers, man. But those games have been at home. Last 3 games have been at home. They're 9-4 ATS. They're 6-3 ATS as a dog. And they're only 1-3 versus the AFC. They are 9-4 to the over as well. But like I said, Detroit plays very well at home. Jared Goff is very comfortable when he's at home. But when he comes to the road, he's a different type of player. Now, I remember specifically the game versus the Bears. They just played the Bears on the road maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. I'm not for sure what it was. But the Bears were in that game, and I was really expecting them to win because I had my money on the Bears. But the Lions end up pulling that game out on a bad Justin Fields interception. And they were able to get down at I think it was at the red zone to be honest. Oh, no, I think they ran it back in. I think they scored on the interception return. I believe that's what it was. So that's the only road win that Jared Goff has had since he's been on the Lions. And I'm not expecting him to win again on the road. So my money is going to be on the Jets because they're 8-5 ATS, 2-0 ATS as a favorite, 2-1 versus the NFC North, 2-1 versus the NFC. And the defense is just so stifling to me. It's just ridiculous. Like, I respect the Jets defense so much. Like, it's just unfortunate that they can't put up points, but those can change. You can get you some players. Who knows? They may get a free agent quarterback that could come over there and change things quickly. We see how it's been done. Brady went to Tampa Bay, first year went to a Super Bowl. Matt Stafford, first year went to a Super Bowl. So who knows? If they could get a legit quarterback over there, the Jets can make some noise, man, because their defense is solid. They've only allowed 6 points average in the second half in their last 5 games. So there's no way that you're just going to go in there and dominate them like that. Their defense is built to stop teams from scoring. Now, as far as a prop, this is who we're going to take. Zonovan Knight, the running back for the Jets, over 64.5 rushing yards, -114. Because he's averaged 76 yards his last 3 games. And far as Detroit, they give up 157 rushing yards on the road. So that's an easy correlation for me that the Jets are going to try to game plan to run on Detroit, milk the clock, because they can't really score like that offensively. So they're going to try to drain that time of possession. And I see a lot of running. So I see Zonovan Knight getting those opportunities, those rush attempts, and he should hit this 64.5, like I just mentioned, because he's averaging 76 his last 3 games. So I believe that's a good cash, good prop to take this week for the Jets. And I'm also on the Jets to beat Detroit, bring them back down, because they're kind of on their high horse right now. But like I just mentioned, a lot of those games were at home where they're more comfortable. They're not so comfortable on the road like that. So we're going to ride with the Jets, and we're going to take Zonovan Knight over 64.5 rush yards, -114. Let's get back to the chat. What the chat talking about? Man, Stoney, allows 277. Haven't bet on him being over a month, but Dalton's only cleared over 260 yards one game this season. Yeah, see, that's why I want to put my money on him. I have no interest in putting my money on Dalton. Dalton's passing yards is at 230, has only cleared at number 3. Yeah, so don't even worry about Man Stoney. We're not even trying to do him like that. Who wants to bet on Andy Dalton? So yeah, we ain't even in that business like that. You know, so let's get back to it, man. Pittsburgh, Carolina. Don't have a prop in this game. Didn't see anything that just stood out. Pittsburgh is 5-0 ATS in the last 5 versus Carolina. Pittsburgh is 3-0 versus the NFC South as well. 3-1 versus the NFC. So they have a winning record. Carolina is 1-3 versus the AFC. They're 0-3 as a favorite. 0-3 versus the AFC North. So, gonna be on Pittsburgh plus the points. I think it's +3, I believe. But they do have a worse second half point differential. They're worse than the league. They only average 3 points in the second half on the road. So Pittsburgh's going to have to get their points in the first half and just hold Carolina off in the second half. Carolina's averaging 12 points in the second half at home. They've had 13 points in the second half in the last 3 home games, but they only averaged 8 points in the second half in the last 3 games. So I think Pittsburgh can pull it off. Pittsburgh's defense allows 144 passing yards in their last 3 games. So you're not passing on them at all. I think that's number 1 in the league in the last 3 games. 144 passing yards. So, hey, Carolina, they may rush. So what's the running back? Dante Foreman? I don't know. We'll see. Pittsburgh's defense is pretty nice, too. They've been banged up and injured. TJ Watt came back and, solidified that defense because Pittsburgh has a good record when he plays. He just hit another field goal. Should have laddered that field goal. What does he have? 4 now? Chase McLaughlin for the Colts today? 4 field goals. This score is 36-7 with 4 minutes left in the third quarter. Wow. Minnesota. I can't believe it. But like I said, I'm not losing no money on it. So I can care less. I'm ready for these couple of games next. I'm ready for Baltimore and Cleveland, and definitely going to do Miami and Buffalo tonight. But like I said, I just want to jump on, show them people how we can get some money this weekend, for real. So, like I said, Pittsburgh probably going to take the points. I don't have any prop in this game, and we can move on. Let's talk about, hold on, let's get back to the chat. Man, Stoney, what are we talking about? Falcons haven't allowed 200-plus passing yards in 4 straight games. I'll probably sprinkle something on Dalton under 230. Hey, sprinkle, baby, like E40 say. That's the 5th field goal. 5 field goals. And I bet the 2 over 1.5. Should have laddered it. I don't even know if I can do it ladder all the way up to 5, but who knows, man. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, man, let's get back to this. We got Cowboys and the Jaguars. Cowboys, I don't know what happened last week with the Texans, but they almost blew that game. And the 1 week that I don't take the Texans points to cover, they covered. And we should have known because 17 points, it's a lot of games. A lot of points. I'm sorry. That's a lot of points. We should have known. But it was the Texans. And the Cowboys just came off putting up, 50 on the Colts? You see what I'm saying? And now the Colts got 36 over the Vikings. But hey, like I said, it's football, man. You never know. The unexpected happens. But I don't have a prop in this game. Cowboys 10-3 record, 8-5 ATS, 5-3 ATS as a favorite. 2-0 versus the AFC South, 3-0 versus the AFC. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to put my money on the Cowboys winning the game. Averaging 12 points in the first half, in the road. Averaging 15 points in the first half their last 3 games. And the defense has been playing solid. They've only allowed 4 points in the second half. Okay, what does it say? Defense allowed 37 points total in the second half in their last 9 games if you take out the Green Bay game. take that Green Bay game out. Cowboys defense has only allowed 37 points total, and that is an average of 4 points in the second half. So, Jaguars 0-3 versus the NFC East, 0-4 versus the NFC, period. They're averaging 10 points in the first half at home, 9 points in the second half at home. So that's a total of 19 points. And that gives the Cowboys averaging 12 and 13. So that's 29. So 29-23, I see a score. Jags may cover this game, but I'm not going to put my money on it. I lost money on the Jags trying to cover with them versus I do believe the last time it was with the Chiefs. And I'm not going to trust it again. I'm just going to sit back, watch the game, and see if the Cowboys can continue their streak because they got a big game coming up versus the Eagles next week. And we don't want them to look ahead as well because the Jaguars could sting them, surprise them and win this game. Who knows? But wouldn't that be a storyline going into the Eagles? They lost to the Jags, man. Cowboys don't want that. We don't want that. And we already know Skip Bayless don't want that. Skip Bayless is the Cowboy, chant man, cheerleader. So we gonna trust the Cowboys take care of business and, ride the streak into Philadelphia next Sunday. But like I said, I don't have a prop in this game. Let's move on to Arizona at Denver. No Kyler Murray. No Russell Wilson, I believe. Wow. So we're dealing with backup quarterbacks in this game. So you know what I automatically thought, especially with Denver, who is 11-2 to the under on the season? Under 36.5. Already bet it as soon as it came out. I don't see any points being scored in this game too much. I don't think any team cracks 20 points. Arizona only averaging 7 points in the first half on the road. Denver's only averaging 8 points in the first half at home. Only averaging 7 points in the second half at home. So they're only averaging 15 points at home on the season, which is crazy. Defense allows 2.5 field goals made. So you could be looking at home. So you could be looking at the field goal kicker for Arizona over 1.5 field goals. I'm not going to take it, but I am going to take a prop in this game. It hasn't came out yet, so I can't make it official. But as soon as I see it, I'm on DeAndre Hopkins receptions because he's averaging 10 receptions on the road. And he's just a beast. 7+, 3 out of the last 4 games receptions. He's averaging 8 in the 7 games that he's returned. So as soon as I see that prop, I'm going to jump on it. I've already cashed on it. I do believe I cashed it 3 times out of the 7 games he's returned. I don't know. It's either 3 or 4. I kind of lay off a couple games. Like if he don't hit it in a couple games, I'll lay off. He'll come back to it. He'll cash it. So I will be looking for DeAndre Hopkins reception prop. Should be at 7.5. It's usually at 7.5. So he's averaging 8. So if they give me this 7.5, I'm taking it. But that's pretty much it in this game. I don't see any points. I've already took the under. Denver's 0-5 as a favorite. So if I had to make a bet, I would take Arizona to win the game because they are 11-4 ATS in the last 15 road games. But like we said, we're dealing with a backup quarterback now. So a lot of those games were Kyler Murray. So how can we cap Colt McCoy 11-4 ATS last 15? He hasn't played. So a lot of uncertainty in this game. So I just went with the under, play it safe, but I will be looking for DeAndre Hopkins. This next game, Patriots at Oakland. Patriots are 5-3 versus the conference, 5-1 ATS in the last 6 road games versus the Raiders. Very interesting. I like that stat. Also, they're 4-2-1 ATS on the road, 5-1 ATS as a favorite. So that got me leaning towards the Patriots to win this game. They're coming off a big win against Arizona last week, but like I said, Kyler Murray left the game. They had dealing with backup quarterback. Makes it easier for you because you know limitations of a backup quarterback because they're backup for a reason. So, but hey, they won. Got to give it to them. Patriots, they're only averaging 8.9 points in the first half on the road, but they're averaging 14 points in the second half. So Patriots are a team that goes into the locker room. They adjust, to what the other team is doing. Like I said, Bill Belichick, probably one of the greatest coaches ever in the NFL. So we can trust that he can adjust and, you know, especially he's going against Oakland, who's Josh McDaniels, the ex-offensive coordinator for the Patriots. So both these coaches know each other very well. Josh McDaniels was over there for a while with Tom Brady. So this is going to be a chess game, and I'm going to enjoy it. I may sit back and watch this game just to see if the student can out coach the principal. Out coach the principal. Because Bill Belichick was his principal. So let's see if he can out coach the master. Oakland is 3-1 ATS as a dog. That's a very good record, and they're averaging pretty much 13 in the first half, at home 14 in the second half. So we could be looking at a lot of points in this game as well. I didn't look at the over. I'm not really concerned about it. The Patriots defense allows 92 rushing yards on the road. So you can't run on them. But they allow 38 pass attempts on the road. So that means that Derek Carr will have opportunities to make plays. I'm not going to take the pass attempt prop. Like I said, I don't like to jump on a lot of props. I just like to keep it consistent of what's working for me. I don't like to take new players if I haven't cashed on them before. I'm very reluctant to take them like that. Especially now late in the season. I'm not trying to lose money like that. I'm trying to win money that I won before on a player that I can trust. So, but other than that, I'll lean Patriots to win the game. I just think Bill Belichick knows Josh McDaniels, and I don't think he can go in there and beat him, especially with the Raiders defense that gives up a lot of points. So I'll be leaning towards the Patriots in that game for sure. All right, let's move on, man. Titans at the Chargers. Very interesting game right here. Titans coming off a loss, and I lost money against the Jaguars. That's who it was. The Jaguars beat them last week. Lost money on that. Titans are 5-2 ATS on the road, 4-2 ATS as a dog. They're averaging 12.9 points in the first half on the road. Pretty good. 2-1 versus the AFC West, 5-4 versus the conference. So not too shabby, but it's a winning record. Nothing to be impressed about. But when the second half comes, the Titans just fall off a cliff. They can't even score a touchdown pretty much usually in the second half. They're only averaging 4 points in the second half on the road. 5 points in the second half their last 3 road games, and only 4 points in the second half in their last 3 games total. So I don't see them coming into the Chargers and winning this game, in my opinion, because the Chargers are 8-5 ATS on the season. They're 5-4 versus the conference, and they're 6-1 ATS in their last 7 games versus the Titans at home. So that's a pretty consistent stat for me to trust the Chargers can cover this game. They are averaging 14 points in the first half at home. So both of these teams come out strong in the first half because I just mentioned 12.9, which is 13-14. So that's 27 points right there in the first half that could potentially be put up in this game. So second half, Chargers are the same as the Titans. 6 points in the second half at home is what they average. 7 points in the second half at home their last 3 games. Only 8 points in the second half their last 3 games. So both of these teams digress heavily when it comes to the second half. But both defenses give up a lot. And let's go through the numbers, and we're going to get to the prop that I'm on. The Titans defense only allows 60 rushing yards on the road, which is number 1 in the NFL. But the Chargers don't run the ball. So they're not really concerned about that. Titans defense allows 42 pass attempts on the road, 303 passing yards on the road, which is dead last in the NFL, which comes to Justin Herbert, who's averaging 43 pass attempts on the season, and the pass attempt prop is at over 39.5. So that's our next prop, ladies and gentlemen. Justin Herbert over 39.5 pass attempts minus 118. Because I just mentioned he's averaging 43 pass attempts on the season. So the fact that the defense gives up 42, he should be able to catch that easily. Because, like I said, you can't run on Tennessee, especially on the road. So the Chargers ain't going to be looking to do that. They're going to be looking to pass. And that's what Herbert has been doing all season, passing the ball. So we're going to take Justin Herbert over 39 and a half pass attempts, minus 118, and we're going to double up on the passing yards, over 303 and a half, minus 117. Because Justin Herbert is averaging 285 passing yards on the season. He's averaging 290 in his last 5 games. And the last 2 games, he's hit 300 plus. So I believe it's going to be 300 plus 3 straight games. He's already passed for 300 plus 4 times already. And a lot of those games, he was maybe a couple of yards away from hitting 300. Because I was going through the numbers and I seen it to where he was a couple of games. He was right at 290, 280. So let's go through it right now. You know, like I said, 274 he's had, 280, 293, 297, 279. So that's 4 or 5 games right there. He could have easily threw a 20-yard pass and went over 300. So he's going to hit the 300, I do believe, because the Titans give up 303 passing yards on the road. So that's an easy correlation for me to take Justin Herbert. I've cashed on Justin Herbert once. No, I think I've cashed on him a lot with his pass attempts because the Chargers don't run the ball. So he's been a consistent money maker for me. So we're going to stay with it. You know, let's ride the train. Justin Herbert, over 39 and a half pass attempts, minus 118. Passing yards, over 303 and a half, minus 117. And I'm leading Chargers to win the game. Let's get to the chat. What are we talking about in the chat? Matt Stoney, what are we talking about? 17 points. I felt they would cover that and still didn't pull the trigger. Yeah? Hey, sometimes you get mad, but hey, at least you didn't lose. Under Denver, yes, for sure. Under Denver. We are doing that. Sensei and Grasshopper game for real. Herbert finna let that thing fly. Yes, he is, man, Stoney. That's what he do because they can't run the ball. So he's definitely going to sit back in that pocket and try to pick apart the Titans defense, which I do believe he can. Now, scoring a touchdown, that's a different story. But yards, he should be able to get the yards. All right, let's move on to this game. And I do have action in this game. The Bengals versus Tom Brady, Tampa Bay. That's what they call them, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Bengals, man, they've been a bet-on team since coming out their bye, I know for sure. But let's go through the numbers, man. Cincinnati, 10-3 ATS on the season. 5-2 ATS on the road. 7-3 ATS as a favorite. 5 wins in a row covering the spread. We are 3-0 versus the NFC South, 3-1 versus the NFC, and they are 18-3 ATS in the last 21 games. So Cincinnati covers. So they've been a bet-on team. And I think that we may go have to start riding the Bengals going into these playoffs. They showed us last year. They got to the Super Bowl. So as long as you protect Joe Burrow, he's gonna be he's the guy. He can throw the ball. He can find his players. So T. Higgins is banged up though. So which brings me to you already know. If you know, you know. If you know, you know, man. You already know where we going. Jamar Chase, passing yards, over 85 and a half, minus 114. Because he's had 216 yards to 2 games that he's came back. I did see the reception prop. I want to look at the reception prop as well. I don't think it's out yet because he's had 17 receptions in these 2 games he's came back. So I think Joe Burrow's going to be looking for him a lot, considering he's already a receiver down. I think he's 2 receivers down because Hurst is hurt too. So he's already 2 receivers down So he has to rely on Jamar Chase to make plays in this game. I do believe he will. Because Jamar Chase is averaging 8 receptions in the last, like I said, last 4 weeks, averaging 8 receptions the last 2 weeks. So since he's came back, he's had averaging 8 receptions again. So I do believe he'll cash that. As far as the Tampa Bay side, 0-3 versus the AFC North, 0-4 versus the AFC, only averaging 8 points in the first half at home. So I'm looking for the Bengals to cover this game. I will put my money on the Bengals to cover this game. Tampa Bay is 10-3 to the under, 1-5-1 ATS at home. So, and we've already seen with Tom Brady, they can't score. They're injured on defense. They can't run the ball. So I would be looking at Tom Brady's pass attempts. I think I hit it last week because he passes the ball. He can't run the ball. So, but like I said, you could take it. I'm just suggesting. I'm just throwing out the suggestion, but I'm not going to take it because I don't want to be on a lot of props. Because like I said, that's how you lose money, trying to put your money in a lot of places where you could just consistently stay in a couple. That way you can know what you're doing, be consistent, and have a system. You got to be disciplined enough to understand what's working for you. So, but I'm just throwing it out there. Tom Brady's pass attempts is a look because they can't run the ball. But I'm officially on Jamar Chase passing yards over receiving yards. I'm sorry. I put passing yards. I'm sorry. Jamar Chase receiving yards over 85.5 minus 114 is my play. And I'm going to take the Bengals to cover the spread. Next game we got the Giants and we got Washington. Divisional game right here. Automatically, when I look at the Giants, we already know. Take the under. And we know what the under does with the Giants. Now, it's been hitting consistently at home. They're on the road now. But Washington, they don't give up points. The defense is solid to me. You can't run on them. So that's another team that you have to pass. And I didn't look at Daniel Jones' pass attempts. I'm not going to look at it because I'm not a person that just bets on the Giants like that. The Giants are 9-4 ATS, 7-2 ATS as a dog. Washington is 4-1 ATS as a favorite. Now, the Giants are 0-3-1 versus their division, but they're 5-1 ATS in the last 6 games on the road versus Washington. So that gives me a little lean for the Giants to cover these points. But Washington has been playing well. I told you, like I said, I took the under already just because I saw Giants game under. They are averaging 8 points in the first half on the road. Washington is only averaging 8 points in the first half at home. So first half under could be a look as well. But I may jump on it. I'm going to look at some things later and probably tomorrow before kickoff. I may make it a double. First half under, full game under is what I'm looking at. Before as a prop in this game, I did have a prop. But the Giants defense, they give up let's hear it's right here. They give up 149 yards on the ground. They've given up 195 rushing yards their last 3 games. And their last game, they gave up 253 rushing yards. Is that correct? Let me check that. Let me make sure I didn't write that down accidentally wrong. Washington. No, the Giants. I'm sorry. The Giants. They played the Eagles last week. And yes, 253 rushing yards they gave up to the Philadelphia Eagles. Wow. Now, the running back for the Commanders, Washington, Brian Robertson. He's averaging 77 yards in his last 5 games. So let's look live now and see where his prop is at. I did really look at it. I wrote the number down. I wrote his stat down just to look to see. But let's look right now. See if they got it up. No, they don't have it up. They just got the Giants, Saquon up, and Daniel Jones. Okay, so he may not play. Who knows? But like I said, I have no prop official in this game. I only have the under official full game. I may make it official first half. Do I want to make it official first half? You know what? I'll make it an official first half. First half under, full game under, Giants and Washington game, and we can move on. Last game, Monday Night Football. Rams versus Green Bay. This is an ugly game. Like I said, I didn't really dive deep into this one as well. Did find an advantage on a prop. Uh, the Rams, they are 85 to the under, 3-7 versus their conference. They're 1-3-1 ATS on the road. Or is that 1-3? I think 1-3 ATS on the road. They only averaging 8 points in the first half on the road. Green Bay's averaging 10 points in the first half at home. But Green Bay's only 4-5 versus their conference, that's a losing record. So, like I said, I didn't take none in this game. The Rams defense is only allowing 83 rushing yards on the road. So that means that Aaron Rodgers is going to get his pass attempts. Now, you can look at his pass attempt prop, see what it is. Hey, take it if you want. Because the Rams defense allows 42 pass attempts on the road, averaging 272 passing yards on the road. So Aaron Rodgers could have a good day, but I'm not interested in putting my money on Aaron Rodgers. Now, Monday Night Football, this is a Monday Night Football game. Now, if my money's looking good, hey, I may jump on it. Who knows? But right now, I'm probably going to forget about it and not even be concerned about it. Green Bay is 5-0 ATS versus the Rams. So if I had to pick a play, I would pick Green Bay to win the game. But the Rams do have Baker Mayfield. And he just came off his couch and went and won a game versus the Raiders last Thursday night. Shout out to Nuff Flush. We were talking last night in the chat. He mentioned Baker Mayfield's over interception. And I do believe that's a good look. I haven't seen the prop yet, but tomorrow I will be looking for that. Definitely. And I'm going to step on that Baker Mayfield interception because I do believe he will throw a pick. As far as Green Bay's defense, they allow 154 rushing yards at home. So the Rams, they could establish the run game, but who knows? I don't even know who the running back is. So, like I said, I didn't dive deep into this game. Green Bay's averaging 19 points their last 3 home games, averaging 26 points their last 3 games total. So if I had a lean, I would take Green Bay to win the game, but nothing official on this game. So, where we at in the chat? Man, Stoney, you like that? You like the Giants Commanders under? Well, let's ride, Stoney. Like I said, I'm making it official. First half and full game. We can do that. Now, let's review. Let's go back. So, this is what we got. We got Baltimore, Cleveland coming up. This is who we got. We got Baltimore, Cleveland coming up. Justin, I think I did make the banner. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I did make the banner. This is what we got. Justin Tucker, over 1.5 field goals, minus 110. I do believe that he will get a couple field goals. Cleveland's defense may stop Baltimore, and he can get 2 field goals. Justin Tucker is money. And that's all I got to say about that. He's money. So we're going to take Justin Tucker. And we're also going to jump on the other side, and we're going to take Deshaun Watson, pass attempts, over 29.5, minus 114, because he's averaging 32 pass attempts in the 2 games that he's came back. And we're also going to jump on the rushing yards, over 28.5, minus 124. Because we do believe he scrambles, gets out the pocket. He's going to try to make first downs and get plays. I think I'm the only one left in the chat. Hey, it's all good, Stoney. You can ride with me. It's all good. Let's do it. I'm just trying to get the people paid. They can watch it later. So, they may have no time to watch it right now live, but they'll watch it later if they're looking to get some money, because that's what I do. I look online to, watching different videos to see how I can get money. So I'm pretty sure people do the same thing for me. So let's cash. You give me? We gonna cash. Now, let's review. Like I said, we review it again. We're going to Deshaun Watson. We're going to take Isaiah Pacheco, rush yards, over 71.5, minus 118, because the Texans give up the most rushing yards in the league. And Isaiah Pacheco has been averaging 78 rushing yards his last 5 games. We're going to jump on Jalen Hurts rush yards over 47.5 minus 114 because he's averaged 72 rushing yards his last 5 games. So I do believe that's an easy cash. Now, I mentioned you could take the passing touchdown, which is over 1.5 minus 130 because he's had 7 out of the last 8. And you also can take his anytime touchdown because he's had 4 out of the last 5 rushing touchdowns. But make an official rush yards over 47.5 minus 114. And we're going to jump on the other side of the field and we're going to take Justin Fields over 70.5 rush yards minus 112 because he's averaging 101 rushing yards his last 7 games. And Matt Stoney said that he's off the injury report. So he's looking to play this Sunday and he's looking to make us some cash like he continues to keep doing. We're going to jump on Justin Herbert over 39.5 pass attempts minus 118 because we know the Chargers can't run the ball. The Titans don't allow you to run the ball on the road. So Justin Fields should get those opportunities to pass. Now, like I said, scoring touchdowns and things like that is a different story. But we're also going to jump on the passing yards over 303 because he's averaging a little bit under 300 yards on the season, and he's thrown for 300 yards plus the last 2 games. So I'm going to trust he's going to get it 3 games in a row. We're going to jump on Justin Herbert over passing yards, 303 minus 117. Jamar Chase, passing yards over 85.5. Because I do believe that he's going to be the number 1 target for Burrow, considering Burrow has 2 receivers down. Jamar Chase should get the opportunity to make plays. I'm going to look at his reception prop as well, but it's not out yet, so I couldn't make it official. And the last one, Zonovan Knight, over 64.5 rush yards, minus 114, because Detroit allows 157 rushing yards on the road. So that's it for y'all. That's it for me, people. Just wanted to come with a video, let y'all know how we can get some money this weekend. So looking forward to the games coming up. I see the Vikings trying to come back. They got 21 points. Wow. Okay, 36-21. Vikings should come back and win this game. I mean, come on. You're dealing with the Colts. You know, the Colts ain't no, world beaters. Matt Ryan, come on. Seriously, don't be embarrassed like that, Vikings. Make a name for yourself and come back. But hey, I'm going to laugh if you lose. That's just me. But like I said, man, glad y'all was able to join me. Those that was in the chat, Matt Stoney, appreciate you, man. Like you've been riding with me and you get money with me. So I can appreciate the ones that ride and get money. Like I said, thanks to all the people in the chat, man. Matt Stoney, I saw Dave in the building. Jay Money was in the building. My boy Marquell, Occupancy. Like I said, we're going to get this hockey going right after Christmas. So I appreciate everybody, man. I appreciate y'all for coming in, tapping in with me. And like I said, I just want to give money to the people. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy capping. And this is what we're going to continue to do. So thanks for y'all. Like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at LJ Sports Media, because I will probably put out an NBA prop show maybe tomorrow night. Who knows? If I get some time off, get some time to do some research, I'm going to put out a video. So I may put out an NBA video tomorrow night, going into the week of Christmas, I do believe. And we can find some money that way too. Shout out to everybody that followed me with that Nick Claxton over 2.5 blocks last night, because that was my biggest cash of the night. So bank accounts looking very good. So we can find some way to make some more money, So that's how we do. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate y'all for coming on, man. This is what we do. Try to get money to the people. And I'm going to continue to keep doing it because I want everybody to get paid. It's us against the bookies, like Jay Money say. Less cash. Continue to follow me. Continue to like, subscribe, and we're going to get this money. So until then, LJ from Houston, I'm out.
Yeah, R-A-W. Words being served, no concern and no trouble to get that dough. Money on my mind, if it's money all the time, we be pubbing on the grind. If it's LJ from Houston, pulling up stats, you'll be pulling in stacks, hitting bookies from the back with no Vaseline. I need green and upkeep quantities for a fiend, save the dreams for a king. This is H-Town, home of the lean. Astros is the team, and we rock it. Texans for life, you can't stop it. Together like